inside. Source of all to thee we raise this our hymn of grateful praise for the wonder of each hour of the day and of the night. Hill and vale and tree and flower, sun and moon and stars of light, source of all to thee we raise this our hymn of grateful praise. For the joy of human care, sister, brother, parent, child, for the kinship we all share, for all gentle thoughts and mild, source of all to thee we raise this our hymn of grateful praise.
Good morning. I'm Shelley Nagrani. We have entered into our lay-led summer, so today I will be both your worship associate and your speaker. Together with our music director, Alex Peach, and all the people who have contributed to this online service, I welcome you to Unitarian Universalist Metro Atlanta North Congregation, which we affectionately call UUMAN. UUMAN offers no creed or dogma. We do believe in the inherent worth and dignity of all people and the interconnectedness of all creation. We have no claim to the truth. Many of us come to UUMAN because here we have the opportunity to engage in a responsible, open-minded, and compassionate search for truth and meaning, being mindful of the love we hold for one another and the world in which we live. Whoever you are, wherever you are from, wherever you are on your spiritual journey, you are welcome here. If you are visiting with us for the first time, welcome. Thank you for choosing to spend your Sunday morning with us. Please fill out our online visitor form that you can access from the homepage of our website. Someone from our membership team will reach out to you. We are joined today by Reverend Dr. Hope Johnson and Cameron Young, both of whom are UUA Congregational Life Consultants. They will also join us after service today for coffee and conversation. They had originally been scheduled to be with us for a weekend in May to reflect, recharge, and renew. We will have that weekend in July, virtually, and we wanted to introduce them to you during a service prior to that weekend. That weekend is July 11th and 12th. The goal of that weekend will be to reflect on the past few years, the conflicts, losses, and poignant moments we've experienced collectively and individually, recharge by being together as a community, and renew our commitment to UUMAN's mission, which is nurture our spirit, strive for justice, transform the world. And our vision, to be a vital and visible community for all, bravely working toward the day when social, economic, and environmental justice is a reality. So welcome, Hope and Cameron. We will be having an online Google Meet coffee and conversation check-in at 11:15 this morning. That's the one that Hope and Cameron will be attending with us. The link for it can be found on the homepage of the website.
For When I Really Don't Want to Learn This, by Elizabeth Wynne. Spirit, I'd really rather not learn this. Didn't think I needed to. I thought someone else could do it. Thought a leader was coming to do it. Thought the young people could do it. Or the elders could do it. Or the professionals. Or I don't want to learn it because it means letting go of something that I hold dear. Letting go of being someone who knows the answers. Letting go of being someone who doesn't know. Letting go of the way I see the world. letting go of how I might have to change, letting go of certainty, of logic, of facts, of control, of the myth that you can live on this earth and not harm, or the myth that I can't learn anything new. Help me to learn it, please. And then help me to live what I've learned and do right by the gift of being taught.
Today we choose to come together in wonder and awe, connecting with something larger than ourselves. Our shared values spark the flame of commitment to social justice, courage, and love.
Hi. This story was inspired by a New York Times article that my friend Pat sent me. And I've titled it, Be Nice. My mother, who was from South Alabama, could routinely be heard saying, "Melinda Sue, now be nice." But I wasn't nice all the time, and I'm not nice all the time now. And when I get called on it, I get sometimes defensive. I want to blame it on something. Oh, I haven't slept. I don't feel well. I have this horrible boss, Dave. But of course, that's not really true, is it? Nice is a choice that we can all make, if not all the time, most of the time. And if we were to make nice a choice more often, I believe we could be considered as nice as the capybaras from South America. Now, the capybaras from South America are very large rats. In fact, they're the largest rodent at weighing in at 150 pounds. And they are known as nice. They are popular, not only with their own species, but with other species as well. They are so nice that oftentimes when they go to watering holes, they will make this barking sound and nudge everyone else to drink from the water first. Now, can you just imagine that, say, on a hot Friday afternoon in July, somewhere at a watering hole in Atlanta? People going, "Oh, no, not me, you go first, you go first." They also do something else that's very interesting. When humans feed them, and they love to feed them because they're so sweet, they make this cute little squeaky sound and they wiggle their ears to show their appreciation. Something I've been trying to talk my husband into trying for years. They also do something else that's very interesting. They encourage other animals to sit on their back. Now, is that amazing? I have a picture here to show you. Lots of different animals climb up on their back. So I was wondering, why are these capybaras so nice? It must be because being a 150-pound rat makes life easy. But that's not true. They only actually live 4.5 years. And a lot of animals prey on them, including the anaconda. Now, no one wants to be supper for an anaconda. That's a terrible way to go. So it must be their nature to be nice. It's part of their DNA to be nice. So I was thinking, what if humans could be a little nicer? What if we could choose nice more? Share our watering holes, our land, our places of work. What if we could encourage others to jump on our backs for a while? One day, could there be a New York Times article that reads, "Humans, basically a nice species"? I wonder.
The speaking of joys and sorrows is a sacrament that holds our community together. Our denomination describes the sharing of joys and sorrows as the prayers of the people. Let us take a moment to pray together by holding in our hearts joys and sorrows that are not yet spoken aloud.
Meditation. If there is to be peace in the world, there must be peace in the nations. If there is to be peace in the nations, there must be peace in the cities. If there is to be peace in the cities, there must be peace between neighbors. If there is to be peace between neighbors, there must be peace in the home. If there is to be peace in the home, there must be peace in the heart. From Chinese philosopher Lao Tzu, 6th century BCE.
I am waking up to find my world between the dying and being reborn. I see what is and I see what could be. Can't close my eyes again and go back to sleep. Fill my days with blessed unrest and my nights with dreams of justice. Make me a vessel for the turning of the tide. Fill my days with blessed unrest and my nights with dreams of justice. Make me a vessel for the turning of the tide. How can I change our course? Just a lonely voice. Wish I could lose myself in all the noise. But if we all would rise, a generation proud, and with a mighty song, we could turn this world around. Fill my days with blessed unrest and my nights with dreams of justice. Make me a vessel for the turning of the tide. Fill my days with blessed unrest and my nights with dreams of justice. Make me a vessel for the turning of the tide. Ancestors all behind, and before me every child. Ancestors all behind, and before me every child. Ancestors all behind, and before me every child. I bring the power of a long unbroken line. So when our time is through, I want to know, did what we came to do for the future ones. So in our darkest darkest days. May we all be strong and give our lives so life may go on. Fill my days with blessed unrest and my nights with dreams of justice. Make me a vessel for the turning of the tide. Fill my days with blessed unrest and my nights with dreams of justice. Make me a vessel for the turning of the tide. Fill my days with blessed unrest and my nights with dreams of justice. Make me a vessel for the turning of the tide. Fill my days with blessed unrest and my nights with dreams of justice. Make me a vessel for the turning of the tide. For the turning of the tide. For the turning of the tide.
My favorite comedian, Eddie Izzard, does a comedy routine about building the British Empire. He says, "We stole countries with the cunning use of flags. Just sail around the world and stick a flag in it. I claim India for Britain." And they go, "You can't claim us. We live here, 500 million of us." "Do you have a flag?" "We don't need a bloody flag. This is our country." "No flag, no country. You can't have one. That's the rules I just made up, and I'm backing it up with this gun." It's a funny sketch, but true in many ways. The team with the military power gets to decide the rules, and one of the rules Europeans decided was that a pretty quilt with symbols on it meant that we own this land. It also means a set of values, a social contract. Remember how crazy people got because NFL players were kneeling? The cry was, "They are disrespecting our flag." But who really cares if we don't have respect for a piece of material? What they meant was, they are disagreeing with our values. They want to change our social contract. When we think about it that way, the people who were upset were right to be upset because the players were trying to change the social contract. They were trying to change the part of it that says black people, especially black men, are criminals in this country. They were trying to change the part of it that says if you are a black man, you have a 1 in 1,000 chance of being murdered by the police. We stand and pledge allegiance not to the actual flag, but to the values it represents. My mother taught me that we should not say the Pledge of Allegiance because there was not liberty and justice for all. She was a Unitarian. I remember being called a communist because I did not say the Pledge of Allegiance with the rest of the students. They were children, and they were angry about my not saying the Pledge of Allegiance. I am sure that they had no idea of what it really meant to stand with hand on heart and recite those words. They did have an idea, however, that anyone who didn't recite the words was bad and dangerous. And just like the people who were upset by the NFL players, the children were right. My not pledging allegiance also had meaning. It meant that I would try to change the values and social contract that the flag represents. Right now, there are millions of people challenging the white supremacy represented by our flag. We want black men and women to not be murdered by police. You know, it's so important that many white people are, in our different ways, being a part of that challenge. I was in demonstrations in the 1960s. And one thing I remember is that the demonstrations, except for the March on Washington, were mostly segregated. Mostly black people marched for civil rights. Mostly white people marched to end the war in Vietnam. Mostly white women marched for women's rights. What makes me most hopeful right now is that millions of young white people are joining leaders of color and challenging the social contract that says white people are the dominant group. I know that everyone watching this service agrees with those young people. We are looking for ways to join with them, which is not easy to do during a pandemic. We also are all wondering, what is going to happen when the protests end? That is our next challenge. The difficult concept to grasp is that we are trying to change a social contract, a fundamental value of our society. That requires us to go beyond knowing what we are against. Each of us must get clear about what we want that flag to stand for. Protests are a tool used to voice the people's anger with the status quo that is protected by the people in power for their own benefit. Protests are legitimate and completely necessary, and they will not lead to change unless there is an understanding of where we are going. For example, there is a demand to end racism. What does that really mean? What does that really mean to you? Is it a demand that each white person reflect on our internalized belief in white superiority? Does it mean that we need to focus on dismantling systems that maintain white privilege? Is it both? What would racial equality really look like? How would we create a system based on equality and justice? We must begin to create a vision for what we want to be, because at some point the protests will end. The demand to stop being racist will need to be replaced with a demand for a new social contract. We need to understand what we want that contract to be. I am not saying that this group will be the ones who get to lead around where we are going. I am saying that we need to be clear so that we can be informed and committed followers in the months and hopefully the years ahead. I want to end by talking about another flag that represents what I'm thinking about. And that is the Pride flag, which is flying during this Pride Month. Think about the rainbow flag. It doesn't represent borders. It invites all to join. It doesn't represent social contracts of oppression and control. It represents pride and liberation, a vision of the world to which we can aspire. Let us all be responsible for creating our vision of the world and join together to make that vision a reality, whatever flag we choose to fly. UUMAN, a liberal religious community, is here because we make it so. We each contribute our time, our talents, and our treasure. The offering will now be taken using the Givelify app.
This land is your land, this land is my land, from California to the New York Island, from the Redwood Forest, Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me. As I went walking that ribbon of highway, I saw below me that endless skyway, saw below me that golden valley. This land was made for you and me. I roamed and I rambled, and I followed my footsteps to the sparkling sands of her diamond desert. And all around me, a voice was sounding, this land was made for you and me. Was a high wall there that tried to stop me. A sign was painted, said private property, but on the back side it didn't say nothing. This land was made for you and me. When the sun comes shining and I was strolling in wheat fields waving and the dust clouds rolling, the voice was chanting as the fog was lifting. This land was made for you and me. Bright sunny morning in the shadow of the steeple, by the relief office I saw my people. As I stood hungry, I stood there wondering if this land was made for you and me. This land is your land, this land is my land. California to the New York Island, from the redwood forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me. This land is your land, this land was my land. From California to the New York Island, redwood forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me.
Let us now extinguish our chalice. We extinguish our chalice, yet may the flame of our community remain lit wherever we are. May it continue to light the way, guiding our faith into the future, giving warmth to our hearts and to our lives.
Hate and greed and jealousy, we are